Okay then, hello everybody, welcome back to Team Prawn Racing. So, where are we going to go this week? We haven't got the Castle Coombe video ready yet. Rainbird is very busy doing brand new baby stuff, congratulations again. I haven't got the Brands video ready yet because I'm still on a come down from Brands. It was insane. Anyone that missed Super Touring Power, you have really missed out. But I feel like a ton of stuff's been going on and I feel like I probably ought to share some of it with you guys. Otherwise it's all just going to end up being too much information at once. So, start of the year, Dan at Litco reached out to us, offered to build us a hybrid G25. So we were having a slightly lighter but larger turbine, and the theory was that it could spool up similar to a stock G25, make a little bit more power. Dan built us the turbo, collected it, fitted it to the new engine. Happy. So we ran it up on the dyno. It spooled a couple of hundred RPM later, nothing major, but we hit a bit of a brick wall around 590 brake. It just would not do more whatever we threw at it. So we weren't sure about the overall output. We had thought it would do 600 and something, but we got to 592 and that's where it was. Come the start of the year, Silverstone, the car is ballistic. I mean, it was so quick, it was unreal.
What a magnificent sight they make here on the full Grand Prix layout here at Silverstone. Jason West in the clear, everybody else fighting to be second. Nick Vaughan's come through in the Audi into third place.
Really happy the way the turbo drove, the way it felt, absolutely first class. Just a bit of a weird one that it only made that little bit more power than the standard one. So we went back to the drawing board, we got chatting to Dan. We discussed going bigger. We discussed going with a G30, which I haven't shown you yet. So let's go back a couple of months. I'm in the garage. We got this from Dan. We got this fitted. I might drop a few clips in now.
Flashback.
G25 hybrid, G30 770 based. It's not exactly a G30 770 because this is Litco's own equivalent. G30 compressor, different shaft size and a different bearing pack, being a Litco as well. One of the most impressive things about the Litco hybrid we first ran was that the bearing pack is absolutely ballistically good. Absolutely no play, it just spins and spins forever. It's quite different just when you grab hold of it to the standard Garrett one. So, Dan made us this one, G27, G28, whatever you want to call it. It did a bit more than a standard 660. The power increase was decent, but it didn't spool up like one. Which got us thinking, is the compressor slightly too tall in this frame? Don't know, a bit too much mass on the compressor, standard size, but it's like 11 mil taller. Who knows? Dan thought it had done 600, 620 in other platforms, so something about this is not quite the golden recipe. So, we're giving this a go. We overlaid at Badger 5 a plot of our hybrid versus Asher's G30 770 on his S3, 2008 stroker as well, and the spool was damn near identical. So we've gone G30 770 on a smaller housing, and we're hoping that we can almost match the spool of this little hybrid with the power that you're going to get from a G30.
End of flashback.
This went on before Castle Coombe. This went back to Badger 5 to the dyno. It was a little more laggy than expected. So Dan tried it's a test unit, it's a development unit. So that's the first and most important thing to say. Dan tried a bit of a combination of a slightly different turbine, slightly different back housing to create what we hoped would spool up similar to the 25 hybrid, but then be able to make more power. Now, the spool idea didn't quite work out as hoped, as theory suggested. It was quite a bit later. But what was really interesting, on the power curve, we hit exactly the same 592 as we did before. And when they converged around 5,000 revs, it's going that way, basically the torque curve after 5k was identical, so it was as if something else was holding it back. So that's where we went back to Badger 5 straight after Castle Combe, and we fitted what you saw last week. We fitted all of the treadstone, intercooler and pipework.
So I'm going to show you all this stuff again because, to be honest, it's incredible. Our old water line used to go down the back and through a hole down there. It's quite messy and quite hard to get to. Alex has redone that. He's redone the front water line, runs in a much nicer way. He's redone the oil drain. I can't show you that, there's no way to get in there. But believe me, he's redone the oil drain. It's miles from everything now. Never gonna rub, absolutely perfect. And you can even get your hand in under here and get it on and off with the turbo in situ. So this is now 4 races old. We've got our 3-inch charge pipe work. Hump hose here is a really nice touch because it just allows everything to move without any swelling or expansion with the band around the hump hose. And coming down here, we've got more room than we've ever had before. That, believe it or not, is not touching anything down there. Inlet back to 4-inch for the G30, 25 was 3-inch. Instead of bits of silicone and joiners, Alex has welded it up. He's even welded our Ram Air velocity stack onto here, back into the intake as we've always done with the catch can. I think you've all seen the treadstone core down here already, but just the quality of work from Alex, just the quality of the cut in the bumper around the pipework. We've got every single joint now is fully accessible without taking anything off. That's your only joint there. Until you get up to here and here, everything can be reached, nothing taken off. So there is the treadstone 1235R core. And if you look in here, there are more rows. So the normal 1235 has 18 rows. This has 22 for better cooling.
So treadstone on, absolutely phenomenal, really, really nice job done by Alex. Still with this turbo, which let's call it the Litco 30 for the minute. And we gained 23 wheel horsepower. 23 wheel horsepower, about 15 foot-pounds everywhere, just from an intercooler change. Finally over the 6x mark, 600 and something. I'm not gonna divulge exactly what. But yeah, finally over the 600 mark, but it didn't do a great deal for spool like we thought it might do. So we got back to the drawing board and we're thinking, well, maybe some combination of these wheels is not quite working exactly as hoped. Massive credit to Dan at Litco. 2 turbos Dan's built for us now, as well as all the help I've had in the past. I've had 7 or 8 turbos from Dan over the years. He's always been keen to develop, keen to try stuff. It doesn't always work. These are not production units. It's Dan trying stuff to come up with a recipe that works for us in the racing that we're doing. It's going above and beyond what you'd normally expect anyone to do. But the season's ticking away. Unfortunately, this hasn't worked. The 25 hybrid was fantastic, but another thing you won't have seen, I actually cracked my original Nortec manifold. 2 years used, it was running on the 25 hybrid, it was running hot, but yeah, that cracked. So we needed to do something, reduce back pressure, reduce exhaust gas temperature, make the car more reliable. That's where the 30 idea came in. Sadly, development unit hasn't worked out for us. You'll see a little bit more about that in the Castle Combe video when it comes out. But at that point, step in Harrison Chamberlain. Now you guys might know Harrison from racing in Castle Combe saloons. Harrison has just built an absolutely phenomenal Mark 7 Golf, but he's also just started breaking a really nice McGann race car that he used to race. And he happened to have a 30 sat on the shelf, brand spanking new, never used, offered it to me for a good price. Harrison, thank you mate, you're a legend. So, I'll jump up, open the bonnet, and we'll show you what's there now.
So, this is what I didn't show you last week. Now I'm sure some of the keen-eyed among you may well have spotted the logo, or even the plate on there. But, as you can see, we're now on a genuine Garrett G30 770 with a 0.63 housing. And then for good measure, I didn't show you this because I didn't have time. We've got a headlight intake now. So I popped a post on Facebook asking for a passenger's headlight, and I've got to say, you guys you're unbelievable. Before I even knew it, I had 3. I had 1 arrive in the post, 1 delivered by hand by Johnny Berry,
And on the day I even posted it, Josh sent his brother down to Badger 5 because he knew I was there. And just as I was driving away, 2 guys arrived with a headlight for me. Honestly, you guys, all of you, unbelievable. So what we started here with is a depot headlight, which is what I wanted because that's what the other one is. I've split that down. I've hole sawed through at 4.5 inches, 110 mil, and we've got a piece of 110 drain pipe through. I've also done all the insides black, so it matches the other side. Don't know if you can see that. That comes through there, and it's pretty hard to see actually, but you've got, ta-da! You've got a full 4.5 inch hole straight into the cone of the inlet. So that, I mean, there's no doubt, is there? Let me move the camera. I mean, there's no doubt that has to be doing something. Straight in the headlight, straight into the cone. So there you go. She's been back to Badger 5. We've got the genuine 3770 on it from Harrison. Thank you very much, mate. Massively appreciated. And I've got to say, the work Alex put in the 2 weeks between Coombe and Brands Hatch was unbelievable. He's done a ton of stuff I haven't asked him to do. We've automated the gearbox cooler through the ADU using the temperature input and a switched output. He's done all the new oil and water lines. That wasn't part of the plan. He just looked and he went, yeah, I don't like them. I'll do better. As well as all the pipe work, which was the plan. It's been back on the dyno. It's done unbelievably well. We're making the most power it's ever made. But what's really cool is how it spools up, how it responds. So this, with the 0.61 housing, is spooling up nearly 700 RPM earlier than the previous unit. It's all things to all men, all the power, all the response. What a fabulous engine. Honestly, this Badger 5 lump is, I think this is the greatest 20 valve there's ever been. I really do, it's incredible. But yeah, there we go. Little bit of a catch up, where we're going, what we're doing, why stuff's been quiet. I wanted to give credit to Dan. He has done so much work testing stuff for us. He's made us all these development turbos, and yeah, who knows, if we'd have put this intercooler and pipework on the 25 hybrid that Dan made, could have done well north of 600. We just don't know, because we think that pipework was a restriction. But one thing I will say with the 30, both Litco and Garrett, over 100 degrees cooler in the EGT, which is really what it's all about. Trying to reduce the temperatures, trying to improve reliability, trying to keep this thing together for a whole season in Thunder Saloons. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. This is not the end of our working with Litco. It's been an ongoing thing for nearly 10 years now, and I'm sure it's going to continue in the future. Just that right now, we're not currently carrying on with the Litco Turbo for the rest of this year. Biggest thanks of all, as always, has to go to Badger 5. The work these boys put into the car it's just mind-blowing, really. They do so much stuff, even stuff we don't discuss or ask for. They see something wrong, they fix it. Don't even ask me anymore, they just crack on and give us the best possible 20 valve race car we could imagine. That's it for this week. Please do tune in next week. We have got a ton of race content coming up for you. We've got 1, 2, 3, 6, I haven't got enough fingers. We've got 6 races worth of content to come up. And you know what? 6 really good ones. There have been no average races. Every single one. Exciting, fun, pretty wild, because this thing is ballistic now. Cannot wait to show you how that's all gone. But yeah, that's it for me. Hope you guys will like this one. Please tune in next week. We got so much interesting stuff coming up. More car development to show you, more race content. It's going to be a good summer. Have fun. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.